Hey, Nichole Huntsman, your astrologer from moderncosmic.com. Happy Memorial Day. We are still in the Mercury retrograde shadow right now, even though Mercury's gone direct, station direct, we are still in the shadow. And I just recorded an entire hour's worth of a video, and it didn't save any of it. And my computer is being crazy today. It keeps turning off. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm currently feeling anger and frustration as far as my emotional status, but what we're going to do with this little series is we're going to talk about the moon and how to, well, I don't like to use the phrase how to make someone feel anything, right? I mean, we individually choose sort of how we're going to respond and or feel, but the argument could be made that the moon is unconscious. So my behavior towards you may elicit an unconscious reaction of some kind, and we call those emotions. So we're going to talk about everything from how to make your fill in the zodiac sign moon, so Taurus moon partner, feel happy, how you make them feel sad. So go with me. I'm not obviously saying that you're responsible for your partner's emotional reactions, but it is helpful to know that certain behavior will many times elicit a particular reaction from someone. So they obviously have control over that to a certain degree, but to a certain degree they kind of don't also, because the moon, again, is the unconscious part of us, okay? Now, we're going to go through several of the big main major emotions. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to I'm going to start with happy because I'm angry right now that my computer just gobbled up the whole video. It was so good too. I just drank all my coffee, so I got to do it all over again. But anyway, okay, we'll do happiness. Okay, on to happiness or whatever else. This is for all the emotions. So, okay, more coffee. So how to make an Aries moon feel happy. I'm going to wing this. I don't have notes or anything. I just did it, so I'm just going to do it over again. Now, Aries moons, these are the individuals that like excitement. They like new things. You want to make an Aries moon respond with happiness, then introduce them to an adventure, introduce them to something that is fast, new, fresh, innovative, whether it is, it can be everything. They like speed, for one thing. So physically, Aries moons typically enjoy dangerous pursuits, whether they're male or female. And this can be everything from like driving fast to, so anything that uses gasoline that is fast or fuel, to competitive, doing something competitive with them. The Aries moons do not like when it's too easy. If it's easy, then they are going to get bored. It just is what it is. And if you're throwing yourself on them, that's the opposite. Initially, it's funny because initially an Aries moon can be kind of flattered by someone who is effusive with their desire for closeness, but it will eventually turn them off and it will become too easy. And then they'll become kind of like not interested, bored with it, but just turned off by it. Like it starts to feel as though the person's being clingy and way too needy. And then it starts to feel like, ugh, like you're encroaching on my space kind of a thing. So to make them happy, keep things fresh, new, a little bit. They like a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of a banter, fighting, not in a bad way, but just a little bit, just a touch. Okay. Don't be too easy. Don't be so easy. Now, that doesn't mean that when you're in an intimate, close relationship with this person over the long haul that you can't be vulnerable and sensitive and sweet and kind. Of course you can, but just mix it up, keep us interested. I'm an Aries moon, so I'm telling you, and I'm a female. You would think that as a female, I would like it when my partner dotes on me, and I don't. I don't like it. It makes me feel like, what do you want from me? It makes me feel like they're wanting something from me. So Aries moon also, when it comes to, I was saying that I think about excitement. So anything new, a new idea, it depends on what their interests are. So whatever their interests are, look at their entire chart. Okay, look at where their Venus falls. That will give you some clues. And look at the house that their Venus falls into. Look at the sign that it is in. So many times, I'll use mine for example. Mine's in the first house, my Venus, and I've got it in Virgo. So I like to learn new things. So somebody who brings me new information or something I can analyze, I love that. That's fun. Anything that's just new. Always be just Okay, introducing them to something new. And also they're happy when they have time to themselves. It's very important for an Aries moon. They have to have time where they can do their own thing and they don't feel like they are beholden to anyone. They have to be able to go out and explore the world, and then they'll come back, but just let them go do their thing. And they're to make them happy, really understanding that at heart an Aries moon is a slightly selfish placement for the moon. It's this placement is the warrior, it's the individual. Okay, so respecting their boundaries, respecting their need for danger, even their need for like adventure and all of these things. Sorry, my dogs. And yeah, if you keep things fresh and fun, and keep them on their toes, then you've got typically a happy Aries moon. Okay, how to keep a Taurus moon happy, or how to make them happy. Taurus moons, you need to understand where someone's coming from emotionally. Okay, so Taurus moon, they want security and they want permanence. They want solidity. They want to know what to expect. They like harmony and peace in their emotional sort of settings. So if you can provide them with commitment, let them know how you feel about them. They are one of the signs that can be a little bit insecure if they've got a partner who's kind of footloose and fancy free and has like a lot of social connections. Taurus moons can be pretty jealous. They can be quite possessive if they don't know where their partner is standing with them. Of course, everything's always modified by the rest of the chart, but that's just in general, that's a pretty general rule for most Taurus moons that I've ever encountered. So to keep them happy, be loyal, be consistent, be somebody that, helps them also perhaps with, if they've got something that's important to them that has to do with like their schedule, such as, not so much, being on time is important, but kind of like just keeping to the schedule, not making their life crazy, keeping things kind of steady. They'll appreciate that. Now, also with Taurus, they are ruled by Venus. They're the zodiac sign that does appreciate the five senses. And, let me add this one other thing back to the first point about consistency. Money. So you need to understand your Taurus moon and their take on money and possessions. So some Taurus moons can be really particular about budgeting and how their money's being spent. If you're married to someone and you have joint, resources that you're both using, be very respectful of because they're going to have a pretty stubborn opinion about how the money should be spent and what it should be spent on. So be sure you talk with them about, if you're going to buy something important or big, let them know, okay? If you don't, that's a surefire way to irritate a Taurus moon. So it's like what not to do. But also with a Taurus moon, doing like a planning session. If you're in a relationship with someone, you're married to them, even like a weekly planning session where you plan out the week, figure out, what everyone's doing for the week, they would probably appreciate. And when it comes to possessions, if you borrow something from a Taurus moon, be sure you return it. They are usually, pretty good about sharing things if with their loved ones, but they have to know they're going to get it back from you. And if you've had a pattern of not returning things, they won't trust you. They'll stop sharing things with you. They can be really possessive of their items, their things. Okay. Now, when it comes to, let's say you're traveling with your Taurus moon, make sure that they're fed, that they have that they're warm or that they're cool, depending on the temperature, the weather. Make sure that the accommodations where you're staying that they're comfortable. Taurus they like to know that they're secure physically. Okay, so that includes also being comfortable physically. They don't like being physically uncomfortable for long. It can be if they have to be, but they're going to do what they can to create comfort wherever they're at. I just was at a field day, and one of the moms there, I don't know her birth chart, but her behavior was very Taurus moon. She had this backpack with her, a huge backpack, and it was full of everything. I think she maybe even had like a portable tent in there. It was huge. And then her son got hurt playing tag, and sure enough, she had a Band-Aid, So I think she seemed like a Cancer with a Taurus moon, actually. She's a nurse. So with Taurus moon, to keep them happy, just help them to feel like they are safe. And then they're hedonists many times. So if they are a foodie, or if they are someone who enjoys, whatever pleasures, if they enjoy massage, if they enjoy having their back rubbed or being tickled, that kind of thing, just, obviously cater to those little pet pleasures that they have. Okay, how to keep a Gemini moon happy. Gemini moon, They're happiest when they're in the realm of ideas, conversation. They are curious. They want to explore the world around them. So if you are flirtatious with them, if they text you a big long message and you respond with like 2 words, that is not, I keep giving like the opposite of how to keep these people happy, but do the opposite. If they enjoy long text messages, engage them in a conversation via text. If they enjoy conversations, pillow talk, or chatting with you just on a Sunday morning over the paper, engage with them. It may not be what you want to do at that moment, but if you want to keep them happy, that's what they need. Again, that's why it would be good for them to be with an air or a fire sign. Gemini moons also, they like flirting, and many times they enjoy social interacting with other people, other couples, or just with their friends. There's a youthfulness to Gemini. So if your Gemini moon is someone who has their little group, if it's a girl, she's got a girls group. If it's a guy, and he's got a guys group, they'll probably want to take like weekend trips just with their same gender friends. Okay, you need to be supportive of that. It's very important for them to just engage in a youthful kind of. It's kind of like, makes me think of high school, college. They need to be able to kind of go back to when they were kids and just they didn't have any obligations and they could just sort of enjoy their friendships. Okay, there's a little wanderlust with Gemini, just like with Sagittarius. So if you want to take them on a trip, lots of little short trips, little local trips, anything that has to do with movement, new places. If they're curious about something, sort of encouraging that curiosity. Gemini moons, it's funny, Gemini rules cars. If your Gemini enjoys a particular vehicle, even going on like a little trip on Sunday, like a Sunday drive, and having that space where you can just have a little conversation together, would probably be something that would be a practical thing you could do with a Gemini moon. That would be kind of fun for them. Also, Gemini moons, I think of like board games, word games, crossword puzzles, or just different things. More so probably ones where it's a game where you're playing with someone else, like Scrabble, you could like do on your phone, like those words with friends. That would be something I could see a Gemini moon enjoying. And just really anything that offers them the opportunity to have a conversation. So sharing music as well. Geminis, I can see Geminis enjoying. There's a lot of rappers that have strong Gemini in their chart actually, which isn't surprising. So music that has great lyrics, or if they do like rap or whatever it is that they like, sharing that with them. Okay. Let's see. So let's go on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer moon. To keep a Cancer moon happy, you've got someone who has a strong need for belonging, and there is a desire for closeness with Cancer moon. They are sentimental. If you give them something, they'll usually value it, whether it's a letter or like you give them an actual gift. There tends to be a sentimentality to a moon in Cancer. A lot of times they appreciate the written word, something that you've personally taken the time to write to them, or something you've created for them, made for them, something that they can sort of go back and reflect on. They would like that. Now, if your Cancer moon did something sweet for you, like let's say they like drew a heart on your mirror, if you left it and you didn't erase it, and you just left it on there, that would be meaningful for them. If you left it there till it just kind of wore off, or if they put something on your car, same thing. There is this element of them kind of, because there's a shyness to Cancer, they kind of want you to claim them. They want you to sort of possess them and claim them as your partner. So even if you're a bit more extroverted in your expressions of love and affection for them, maybe even depends on the rest of their chart how private they are, but like social media, if you claimed them as yours. There's a traditional element to Cancer, a desire for marriage and family. So many times they appreciate when their partner is willing to bravely kind of go to that place of commitment. Okay. Happiness for a Cancer moon also is when they're with people they love and care about, and they're experiencing deep connection. So yes, they love to nurture and to mother people that they care about. I've noticed a lot with actually all the water signs, the moon water signs. When we're having conversation, I'll be like, okay, I have a moon in Aries, right? I'm like, okay, well, it was great to talk with you. Okay, I gotta go get on to like the next thing. And they just want to stay and talk with you and talk with you and talk with you and talk with you. Even if you're enjoying the conversation, there's just this sense with Cancer of like, the clinginess, the wanting to be togetherness thing. And the more you're apt to be someone who needs separation and a little bit of independence, the more they're going to need you close because it makes them feel insecure. So if you set up time where you are spending time, and I'm going to spend, this would normally take an hour with a lot of people, but this person's going to take 2 hours. And so I'm willing to put that time in, like until they're done, then you'll have a happy Cancer moon. Of course, you gotta be cognizant of your own boundaries and whatnot as well. But just in general, if you really want to know how to make them happy, you provide them with that closeness and that affection. On to Leo. So Leo moon, these folks need recognition. They do need a certain level of gratitude's really important for Leo. They're very generous moon sign. So they're many times bestowing a lot of affection, love. A lot of times they're big gift givers. Many times Leo sun and Leo moon, they like to give gifts and they like to receive gifts. So it's that you took the time out of your day, out of your schedule, that's your time, that's your life, okay, it's yours, and you went and did this thing for them that was thoughtful. And also the fact that you listened to them and you recognized what it was that they wanted, and you took care of it for them, okay, that they feel like they've been recognized. They feel like, and gratitude's really important for Leo. If you're not grateful and you're not loyal to your partner, that does not work for them. So this moves me on to my next point. Admiring their, really and truly, and this is true for anyone who has Leo in their chart, admiring their beauty or their sexiness, admiring, how do I say this? Not admiring, it's like saying to them and saying to the world that this person is the most amazing, it's using a little bit of hyperbole, but this is the most amazing lover I've ever had. I love this person in a way I've never loved anyone else before. Now, if you don't really feel that, then obviously don't lie to them. But if you do, don't be afraid to let them know, because as long as if you're in a relationship with this person and they love you back, they love you, then they're going to kind of need that. Now, I would say this is not when you're first dating. You don't just instantly lavish them with all of this devotion. That's probably not going to work so well. But when you're in it for the long haul, they need a lot of that. And they're not the kind where you tell them you love them once and you don't ever have to tell them again. You kind of have to be reminding them constantly. Just know what their love language is. Some people's love language is affection. If it's that they need hugs, if they need to be touched a lot, if they need to be, if they need a certain amount of sex, per day, per week, or whatever. Just be aware of whatever that is and be willing to give it. Leo to me is one of the easiest zodiac signs to please because they're pretty straightforward. They'll tell you what they want. They're pretty bossy. So they're usually they'll let you know. You can listen to it and do it or not. And if you don't do it, then they're not going to be happy and they're going to sulk. If you do it, then they'll be purring and kneading and pawing on you or whatever, licking you, whatever a lion does. They'll be happy. Okay. On to Virgo. Virgo is, I will say this really quickly about Leo. Also, I forgot to mention, I think I forgot to mention this. They do like to feel like I think I did say the best lover. They do want to feel like they are the pinnacle of what you've experienced in romance, okay? And if they kind of feel like you're mediocre about them or you're lukewarm, they're not just going to be, it's not really going to work for them. They need a lot of sort of validation and not really, validation is not even the right word. Well, it is for some. A lot of Leo females that I've known do need a lot of validation about their attractiveness, about their desirability, about the fact that she is his singular point of devotion. And the men as well too. There's ego there. Okay, the ego, even if you have a really sweet, humble person, there's still that ego there that does need to be massaged, I guess. Okay, so on to Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Virgo moons are quite devoted. They're a practical kind of moon sign placement. So to keep them happy, they're going to show up for you. If they said they're going to do something, a Virgo moon typically will. And they're typically they show their love through being devoted and dutiful and doing the things that other people maybe don't want to do, taking care of the little details, assisting you with something. And Virgo moons, many times they're a relatively anxious moon placement, especially the women that have Virgo moons. They're self-critical, perfectionists, they try to do everything. They try to be kind of there for everyone. And a lot of times that means they leave their own needs kind of in the dust. And they can become a little bit neurotic about that. Virgo moon men a lot of times tend to introvert, and also they have this perfectionism that happens with Virgo moon with men as well, but it's just a little different. It's more kind of like they're just a stoicism to Virgo. And so to keep them happy, do what you say you're going to do. Be the person also that maybe you're married to someone, to your wife, and she's got like 10 jobs she's doing. She's the mother, and she's got a job outside of the home. There's laundry and cooking, and she's a PTA president. She's like trying to do everything. Hire her a maid, whatever. Get someone to drive the kids to things, so she can go take a class she's been wanting to take. Just free up her time to show her that you are aware of her devotion. And also Virgo is a little bit misunderstood because Virgo moons, they're earthy, and they when they love someone, they're very idealistic. That's what makes them makes them a perfectionist, okay? But they're very idealistic about love and romance. So they really want like the ideal relationship where it's growing. We are assessing things and fixing things. So they would appreciate sort of like a regular come together conversation about what could we do to improve our relationship? What could we both be doing to be better at relating to one another? So see, it's very practical. There's a practicality there, but it's to lead towards this thing that they have in their head that's ideal. It's not even real. It's kind of an illusion. So helping them kind of bridge that gap would make them happy. And also just anytime you are assisting with that sort of anxious energy and helping them feel secure and loved and taken care of, and to feel like they're not alone, like they don't have to do it all, will help them feel more relaxed and at peace and happier. And if you have a Virgo moon who's really organized and tidy, don't be a slob, like clean up after yourself. If they physically like someone whose hygiene is, if they like a particular cologne and you don't really care, wear the cologne. Like if they want to dress you, if you're a man or if you're a woman, I guess, if they buy you something to wear it for them. Like show them that you appreciate the little tweaks that they want to make on you. Don't let them totally change who you are, of course, but just pay attention to their little acts of service when they're trying to kind of help improve you, make you better, right? Libra. So Libra moon is, this pretty easy to make happy because they're peacemakers. That's kind of what they're here for. I mean, they're the zodiac sign that has the problem with kind of the opposite issue, which is when a lot of times you'll think they're happy because they're showing you that they're happy, but underneath they are not happy, or they are elsewhere, or they're bored, or their relationships, they're unsatisfied, okay, somehow. So, because they don't like to cause conflicts, they don't like to cause, fights with their partner many times. So many times they'll also kind of that sort of keeps things surface and a little bit shallow. Now the thing with Libra, there is a shallowness there, I suppose. It's that they're in the realm of ideas. And so they have an idea about what a romantic relationship looks like. And they want it to be harmonious. They want it to be beautiful. You think of Libra, they love music, art, anything that, ideas that are well articulated. Because it's that realm of having done something in a way that harmonizes all the different elements. It's like a symphony, right? Beautiful painting or a beautiful, delicious meal. They're like Taurus in that they are ruled by Venus, but it's more in that area of ideas. So there is an elegance to Libra. There is an appreciation for tact, diplomacy, being polite, being kind to other people. So of course you want to be treating them like this in general. That's to keep things on to even have gotten them in the first place. You should have been kind and diplomatic. And this is the big one though. They love to read. So, Libras in general, and Libra moons, because it's your moon, is what you need to feel like emotionally fed. They are going to enjoy being in that world of ideas. So poetry might be something that a Libra moon would be interested in. Whatever they enjoy reading, it could be nonfiction, fiction, blah, 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 whatever. Join them in the journey and have something to talk about with them. Have a conversation. Libra actually really likes to banter and to debate because they're the opposite sign from Aries. And so they hold things with one another, okay? Libra likes to see where you're at and then to sort of see, oh, let's see if we can, and they like to argue for something they don't even necessarily believe in, just because it's fun to play around with the ideas and to then come to, but ultimately they want to come to a place of kind of consensus. They're going to be uncomfortable if you have a disagreement about something, even if it's just a heated, I don't know, heated debate about you go see a painting and it's, you guys are disagreeing about whether it could be considered valid art, okay? First of all, come at it with logical arguments. There's that. And second of all, the Libra moon may just kind of defer to you and be like, okay, well, you're probably right, you know. Don't let them do that. So make sure that they have space to really voice what it is they really think. They initially might kind of argue with you, but then they might back off. So with Libra, they have this funny, tricky balancing act of being logical and wanting to sort of play the field of ideas, but then also wanting to keep the relationship harmonious. So again, allow them opportunities to be exposed to beautiful things and then beautiful ideas and bringing into their space harmony and peace and kindness and recognizing when they're kind, all of that. And they like flattery because they're, you know, Libra enjoys being flattered a little bit, not too much. They'll see through it. If you're being too over the top, then it becomes obnoxious. So on to Scorpio. Scorpio moon. Scorpio is, of course, our zodiac sign that's quite mysterious. So when we talk about happy, someone who looks happy, you know, and Scorpio, they're kind of like, not that Scorpios can't be happy, but you're never fully going to know what's going on inside of a Scorpio moon. I mean, I suppose that's probably true for most everybody. And there's some moon signs that are more on the sleeve surface than others, of course, but Scorpios for sure, there are depths there that you will never plumb, okay? They're just there. So they need devotion. The Scorpio moon wants to feel as though in their relationship, they are a part of your body, you know, like there's a song called Bloodstream where he talks about, he's equating the relationship to like taking a drug, you know, and that she's in his bloodstream. She's in his being. So the Scorpio moon wants to feel like they have infused into you in a sense. There is an element of possessiveness. They want to feel like their partner is theirs, and they want to feel that their partner claims them as well. They like to claim the one that they love. And there's a privacy to Scorpio moon. So depending on the rest of the chart, they're definitely going to enjoy claiming the partner. If they've got a more extroverted chart, then they'll also want to sort of let everyone know, and they might kind of pee on the partner, you know, mark their territory, so to speak, a little bit. And they can be, and to make them happy, if you want to make them happy, just if you feel the same way, being devoted to that love and being willing to let them open up and show you how they feel and creating safe space for them. Because if you're kind of someone who's flighty and you're there and then you're not there and then you're there and you're not there, then they won't trust you. So you need to show that you're loyal. If they tell you a secret, you keep it. If they ask you, if they share something in confidence, you keep it. If with the relationship they are wanting you to go all in, you got to go all in. If you half-ass it, they will know, and and then you're going to have an unhappy Scorpio. So, profound, close, intimate experiences with one another, and through sexuality as well. The sexual, physical act for them is physical, emotional, spiritual. It's all of it, mental. It's all together. It's all one thing to them. So, when you are in that space with your partner, being open to, you know, fully showing all of your messy stuff, all of it, that will make them trust you even more and want to come even closer. A little danger element there, a little like, let's see how much you can handle. They would like that, okay? The Scorpio moon. All right, Sagittarius moon. This is our adventurer, our wanderer of the moon signs, the moon sign that is very much interested in creating a story. So they want to go on a journey with you. They want to go see life with you, or depending on house placement for the Sagittarius moon, they may want to experience growth with you. So it could even be something like taking classes together. It could be practicing a spiritual practice together. Also, I've seen Sagittarius moons who are very much not interested in religion at all, but they love nature, they love the outdoors, they love sort of these experiences where they can express themselves in a very authentic, genuine way. Sagittarius moons tend to sort of wear everything on their sleeves. If you think about our little protagonist who moves through the zodiac, when he gets to Scorpio, he experiences this cloistered, intense, extreme sort of, what's the word? Extreme experience of emotion, which includes, the death of something or betrayal. It's all these heavy, really strong emotions. You then move to Sagittarius, and we have sort of flipped to, okay, that was a lot. Now let's go on a road trip, or let's go somewhere. Gotta get away from that. That was pretty heavy. So Sagittarius moons do like to keep things like light. They typically don't like emo, really heavy, emotional relating. They prefer more of a playful, optimistic, bantery, like looking to the future. What are we focusing on that we can grow towards? What are all the possibilities for us? Where are we traveling this year? You don't have to, the nitty gritty details not their favorite, but they do love to think about inspiring ideas, whatever's their sort of version of growth. And however they like to explore the world, whether that's through their physical body, like going somewhere, whether that's through taking classes together, whether also Sagittarius moons are typically, they are typically pretty opinionated. And they kind of just let you know what they think, and it comes from a sort of off the cuff place. So listening to that, respecting that, and also they're usually assigned, unless there's other things, maybe to their Mercury, they typically like conversation, but they like to usually do the talking a lot of times. They like to be the one that's telling you things or sharing something with you that they've learned. They like to teach. So being, tell me more about your adventures, would be something that they would appreciate. Okay, moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn moons are, I actually was just dating a guy with this, and I dated other people who have their moon in the 10th house as well, so I kind of know this one well. They are motivated by achievement and accomplishment, and the 10th house or Capricorn has to do with being seen by others in a way that's respected. So they do need respect in their relationships, and they also are usually, once they're in a relationship, they're usually quite committed to their partner. They take their relationship seriously, or they won't even bother. So they're discerning about who they're even willing to join their life with. So if they've chosen you, you need to take that responsibility seriously. Keeping them happy would be, for one thing, they don't like when you're late. I will tell you that. They like to plan things. They like to be sort of organized and be prepared for something rather than just, having you at the last minute. Well, here's the thing. Springing something on them as far as like, oh, let's go do this. They could be pretty spontaneous with that if they had other things in their chart that suggest as such. Look at their Mars, or look at if they've got a strong first house or strong fire in their chart. Then they'll be more spontaneous. But the Capricorn part, if you cancel on them, if they plan something and you cancel on them at the last minute, or you're flaky, they will hate that. So don't do that. They are going to have some opinions about how you should be too. Many times Capricorn moons are pretty opinionated, and they can be pretty critical about how other people are just in general. It's not even necessarily personal. It's just they themselves hold themselves to a high standard, so they expect that same thing of other people. They have a work first, play later attitude. They can be kind of workaholics. So, if you are wanting to keep them happy when they're working on something, you should be working on something. If you're going to go to the gym and work out with them, for example, and you're doing a really hard workout together, be competitive with it and work hard at it. If you leave a sweaty mess, like look what I just did, they'll be like, oh, I liked that. That was attractive, So just sort of to keep them happy, we are always working towards something together. We're working towards a long-term goal here. That's where they're coming from. As long as they don't have other things in their chart that make it all about them. If their chart is one where they're interested in a relationship, if they're with you, then they're going to want to focus on how are we growing this over the long haul. Be aware of the fact that Capricorn, because it is quite discerning, they could be the type to always be wanting, things are never good enough, okay? They could have sort of this, like, it's never quite good enough. There's always something that needs to be fixed or improved. And so, you know, you got to have your boundaries about that, of course. But if you hear what they're saying, there's many times they're probably right. If you could be more responsible in a certain area or be better at something, if they're giving you advice and they're coaching you and they're correct, just do it. Listen to it. They're helping you. They love also to be many times being asked for advice and asked for sort of how should I do this thing. Don't just go to them to vent your problems. They want to know, like, okay, well, that's great. Let's get some practical solutions here for how you can fix your problem. They're happy when other people, sort of like the other cardinal signs, they like when other people are able to, other than Cancer, they like when other people are able to kind of figure out how to solve something, you know. Come to them, but then go do the thing they told you should do. If you don't follow their advice, they're not going to be happy. Okay. Okay, Aquarius. Actually, let me back up. Capricorn also, I will say this, even if the rest of their chart's very humble, Capricorn Moon, they're still going to be interested in a sense, how they're worried about what other people think of them. So you need to know in what area do they care about how other people think. Do they care about career-wise, if whatever it is they do for career is well received? In that case, support them in their work efforts, right? If they work long hours, you know, they're on a big project, you know, they need to work extra overtime, or support that. If it's more to do with how they're seen through their peers' eyes, they could be the type where they care about how you, like, dress, how you appear, or how you behave. You know, they could be someone who, Capricorn's quite private. Maybe there's someone who they're not even on social media, let's say, or if they are, they're very private about it, and they don't want, like, their laundry aired publicly, because that would be embarrassing to them. And then that's like the death knell to a Capricorn. They want to be seen as someone who is respectful or respected, someone who is, you know, like, has their shit together and is a leader. Okay, there's that element of being a little highbrow with Capricorn. Okay, so Aquarius. Aquarius is our zodiac sign, the Aquarius moons. The Aquarius zodiac sign, expressed through a moon, is interested in social contact. So they need freedom to have multiple social friendships and contacts. And they need to have a sense that they're free to be who they really are. They're highly individualistic many times. And there was a study done, I forget the website, but the study done that showed that Aquarius moons were actually one of the zodiac signs that lasted, that were found more frequently in long-term marriages than many other signs. There was like 3 zodiac signs that were found, and Aquarius was one of them, and I was really kind of surprised. But yet I wasn't, because if an Aquarius moon has decided to move into a relationship with you, they bring with it a desire to be lovers, partners, and friends. And with that comes the granting of freedom to the partner to be who the partner needs to be. And at the same time, they themselves need to be allowed that same freedom, of course. So, and working through things. If there is an issue with the relationship that needs to be addressed, they're good communicators many times. Not always. My mom is a Cancer sun with an Aquarius moon, and when she's in her logical space, she's great at communicating. But if emotion sets in, then it gets a little bit like, Aquarius can get a little, because the moon is very fluxy, it's emotion, and Aquarius is spasmodic. So while it is an air sign, it can also be one that can come off as crazy. And it really can be, and I'm sorry to use that word, I don't mean to be like offensive with the word crazy, just take it for what it's worth. I just mean kind of like unpredictable and, you know, just, whoa, like that was not what I was expecting from this person, you know. Behavior such as even like running away behavior, or like, it just, I don't really have a better word other than to use the word crazy. So you think of what you will with that. If you have an Aquarius moon, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're a crazy person. I'm just saying that emotionally, because it's a logical air sign, when that emotion does come to the surface, it comes out in a way that's, whoa, you know, just like a lot, or it's, the reactions can be sort of extreme. And so there's that. It is a fixed sign, so, you know, ruled by Uranus, so it can be a little bit, to keep them happy, what I'm trying to say is to keep them happy, allow them to be who they are, allow them to emotionally express however it is that they express. Maybe they love in a way that's really here today, and then they're like missing the next day because they're off doing something else, but then they're back. Maybe that's their love style, and if they need that type of freedom, then that's fine. Support that. If they love in a way where they love and feel things very intensely and deeply, but they're also very logical on the surface, and maybe it's harder for them to show you on the surface how they're really feeling deep inside, providing space where it's okay for them to be whatever it is they're being in that moment. Let them be who they are. That's the biggest thing with Aquarius. And if they have a cause that they support, that they believe in, don't knock that cause. Don't support it as well if you want to keep them happy, right? Now on to Pisces. Pisces moon, these are our moons that desire closeness. They desire the merge with the partner, very compassionate. Pisces is the zodiac sign that makes me think of the oneness, consciousness. And so to keep them happy, it's usually pretty easy. If you're happy, they're probably happy. So the problem with Pisces moons is many times they adjust their emotional place to match their partners. So if you're sad or in a bad mood, they might kind of come there with you. If you're sad, they might be sad with you, If you're angry, they might, well, probably not so much they're going to be angry, they're going to want to try to make you not angry. Okay, they're going to want to bring you into their warm ocean and be like, it's okay, baby, come back in here, it's all good. So keeping them happy is really it's fairly easy. It can be a little taxing because they do demand a lot of closeness from their partner, and they need a partner who's pretty emotionally strong because they do lean on their partners a lot emotionally. They want someone who's able to go to that deep place with them. And a lot of times with Pisces in general, the Pisces archetype is so nuanced and it's so mutable that it moves wherever it just flows. And so it's just like pouring water into another glass of water. If their water's colored red, your water's color is clear, they're going to pour into it's going to make it pink. I mean, they want to blend with you and make a new thing. And some people don't. You got to be careful with boundaries, of course, and making sure also they'll self-sacrifice to the point of exhaustion. So making sure that you're paying attention to their needs as well and helping them to figure out what it is that they really love and enjoy doing, so supporting their passions. And if those passions involve serving and helping other people, that's fine. And if it's someone who maybe they have a job at church where they're gone a lot, you need to be supportive of that. And, unless it's to the point of having their boundaries walked on by other people, maybe being their defender, maybe being someone who's their protector and protects them from their own sort of lack of boundaries, emotional boundaries. They kind of want to save the world. And so that's not possible. So helping them to, save those you can save, and then but not at the expense of your own health and sanity and happiness. So, okay, that is in a nutshell how to keep the 12 zodiac signs, the moon signs in the 12 zodiac signs, happy. And if you've got questions, let me know. I hope this made sense. The first video was, I think, so much better, but what are you going to do? Mercury retrograde, or shadow of Mercury retrograde, we're still there. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Memorial Day for those of you who are watching this today. And other than that, we will talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.